I'm not gonna lie. I'm shocked. I'm pleasantly surprised. Azealia Banks is here with us this morning having breakfast talk. Welcome.
Thank you.
You look fabulous.
Thank you.
Is that fur around your neck?
It is.
I like it. I want to touch it.
You can.
You have a nice fashion sense. Very different.
Thank you.
Here's my intention today, because this is my first time meeting you.
Yes.
Heard a lot about you.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't very familiar with the music until this weekend.
Okay.
I was rocking to it in the car, and I was like, what? I had no idea. And, I think a lot of people probably have no idea of your music, the artistry. And so I want to get to know Azealia Banks. Who is Azealia Banks? I don't think a lot of people know who that is. Do you feel like the wrong perception is out there about you?
No, I don't think the wrong perception about me is out there. I think that I don't know how to answer that. I feel like I definitely have a really strong core fan base, and I don't think they misperceive so much as they see what they want to see. You see what you want to see. I think that every time, one of these things come up and it's like, oh, Azealia Banks is ranting again, or Azealia Banks is talking again.
Right.
I'm always very thorough and very clear, even if, there are some expletives and some other,
colorful language.
Some other colorful language in there. I think I'm very thorough, and I think I'm very clear about who I am and what I think. And I think with that said, I put a lot out there, so I feel like I give everybody a chance to at least take something from what I'm saying, whether it's, to dislike me or to really like me or to be confused by me or,
right.
To relate to me or whatever it is.
Right. People say, hey, all publicity is good publicity, whether it's good, bad. People might hate you. People might call you the angry black woman, bitter, mean, or what, whatever. But I don't think the majority of people know you as the artist. Like, they really get into your music. You have a core fan base, and I know your album is popular overseas, but here you're from Harlem. You live in
It's
a state.
It's actually more popular here. I actually sold more in the U.S. than I did in the U.K. this time.
Really? This time around?
Yeah, this time around. Usually it's more like, the only other thing I've released was 1991 EP and a couple of singles. And then I had the Fantasy mixtape, which was, I don't know how they found out, but they went into WeTransfer or wherever I had it up and found out what the stats were. And there were actually more downloads over in the UK on that one, but this one, yeah. And you know what? I could be mistaken. Don't get me to talking. I don't know.
Well, we know what happens when you get to talking. We have plenty of more to talk about. Let's drop a joint right here. Broke with expensive taste. I think many of us can relate to that. How do they say it? Champagne taste with a beer budget.
With a beer budget, exactly.
Azealia Banks is here having breakfast talk. I'm Renata Romaine, your ear candy. Hip Hop Nation, ear candy mornings. I'm Renata Romaine having breakfast talk with Azealia Banks. Check in 877-60 Hip Hop if you want to talk to her. So now, this weekend I was sitting with the album Broke with Expensive Taste. Has it been released again? What's your label situation?
My label situation is that my manager has a distribution deal with Caroline, which is I guess is it a subsidiary of Capitol?
So the album was re-released? Is that what happened?
No, it was only released once.
Oh, okay.
But we're gonna do a re-release with the physical and then a deluxe. Yeah, I've been working on this a long time. I'm gonna hit this
You have? How long has it been?
Shit.
How many years?
3 years.
Damn.
But I really only worked on it for a year and a half.
Right.
And then it got shelved for a year.
Yeah.
And it was just when the fuck is my shit gonna come out?
Yeah, but it did, and I must say it is an incredible body of work.
Thank you.
It is. It has it has a international feel and sound, and it's dancey, and you hear the Latin flair and the Caribbean vibe and the European vibe, and the instrumentation, and you actually can spit as well. When records like heavy metal and reflective, you can hear wow, this girl, she's the real deal. Do people fear you?
I don't know.
Do you think people are afraid of your talent?
I don't know. I kind of just get the feeling that everyone's just watching from afar. And they're just
that happens.
And I guess even when artists like me, they don't tell me.
They wouldn't do that though.
Yeah, they don't want to gas me up anymore. They're just
right.
She's so gassed.
Of course,
I'm really not actually.
Yeah, I was listening with a friend who is a little older, And he was like, damn, I hear Jungle Brothers, like he started naming like all these, older, hip hop albums and artists. And you're pretty young. You're not even 25.
Yeah. And 23.
Yeah. So you have, I'm sure, a lot of influences. What are some of those influences on the album? Like, what influences the Azealia Banks sound?
My mother influences the Azealia Banks sound a lot, just because my mother has like really good taste in everything, and I get a lot of my taste in things from her. And yeah, just like really like weird, like heady music. She always listened to like really kind of like cerebral stuff, like Ella Fitzgerald, who's like,
you're very cerebral.
Yeah, I'm pretty like I live in my head. Like some people like live in there like stuff. Yeah. I'm trying to like bring it down from my head into like my like
but
lower
it's impressive
body.
Though. It's impressive.
Yeah,
because a typical 23-year-old doesn't know half the stuff that you know. Your intellect, it definitely belies your years. And now the delivery is a whole different story. How you choose to deliver those messages, is a different conversation.
Yeah.
But the intellect is definitely there.
I've been all over the place, just like in a span of, especially like the first 17 years of my life, just going to all these different schools and being with all these, like my mother was always like just switching my school. Most kids, they just like, they go to the local elementary, and then they go to the local junior high, and they go to the local high school. Like my mother was always like putting me in.
Did you have a rough upbringing, like an abusive background?
Yeah, definitely. But
now, when you say your mother, are you talking about the mom that abused you?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys have a good relationship now?
Yeah, we're good now.
Okay.
We're good now. And I feel like a lot of just that just came from my mother being scared. You're a single black mom, you've got 3 daughters. It's scary. Right. Especially nowadays when you see, whatever, we don't have to go into that, but when you see just like these young black kids being gunned down simply for being black outside, that scares you. Right. It scares you. And my mother did a really good job of scaring me away from like any of that like craziness, Yeah. I feel like even when I was in high school, like even when I started like smoking weed or whatever, I was doing it like in a smart way, It wasn't like, I don't know. There were like certain places that I just knew you didn't go. Yeah. Especially growing up in Harlem, like at the end of the crack epidemic, you've got like kids that are your friends that are crack babies.
You were born right in the midst of it, though. 1991 or something?
1991. No, I was born kind of like more at the end. Like the crack epidemic, that was like the 80s.
Honey, I got about 10 years on you. So in 91, it was still, we were seeing a lot of the effects.
Yeah, but I think that definitely through through to 1993, 94, like things kind of started to cool down a little bit, at least in my neighborhood. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you want people to take from your music?
I don't know. I want them to escape, because I feel like I'm a pretty, not that I'm an escapist, but with my music, I like to escape myself. Just like I was saying, like I live in my head so much, I want to bring it down like into my like gut, so I feel like more grounded. Like sometimes I feel like I'm like floating away.
Right. Well, absolutely. It's Azealia Banks, Hip Hop Nation. Hip Hop Nation, here Candy Mornings. I'm Renata Romaine, having breakfast talk with Azealia Banks. Do you think that hip hop embraces your music?
I don't know.
Do you care?
Not really.
Are you sure about that?
I'm sure about that. I just don't like men like coming out of their fucking mouths and just like talking shit. Like if you don't like me, that's fine. I probably don't like you either. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of the beefs or quarrels that I've had, of course some of them I've started because I'm a troublemaker and I like doing that. But you like it. I love it. Yeah. Especially, but I think the ones, especially with like Jim Jones and like T.I., it's like, or like fucking Action Bronson. Like when was I even talking to you? Like. I feel like it's definitely a thing. Like people know that I'm a live wire and they just like want to see what I'll say. Yeah. So they're like, Are you an angry black woman? I think you have a lot to be angry about. There are some things I'm angry about. Yeah. As a black woman. I think black people, and I'm not speaking for everyone, I'm speaking for myself. As a black person, I think that there are lots of things about society and about the world and about culture that anger me, anger me because I feel like they're just like very unfair representations of whatever, you know, like with the whole like cultural smudging and all kind of shit like that. Yeah, just that. I think that as a black person, there are things
like
that,
double standards.
Yeah, there are
and
totally double standards and stuff
you know,
like that
for women and men. And
Yeah,
I know you had a big thing with homophobia. You know, are you homophobic? You know, people have labeled you as that, and you know what else? You know, the list goes on.
I think that in this world, there's obviously like some sort of just like obviously like some sort of white supremacy or just like straight white male privilege that just asserts itself over everything and makes everyone fucking feel uncomfortable, you know? And everyone's got their ways of just like coping with that or whatever. For me, you know, when I use the language when I'm like saying cunt or bitch or faggot or whatever, I feel like it's more free for me, not to be like, oh, because I'm part of like the most oppressed group or anything like that, but just because I feel like when you grow up like with this very like dim, like, or when you grow up thinking that the possibilities for any sort of success for you are like so dim, things like that don't really matter. You know, you've got bigger problems. Like I've much bigger problems than like being called a nigger. You know what I mean? Like there are like black kids getting shot just for being black outside. Like I have to protect my life and protect my, you know, my nephew and like explain things to him. Like just the other day we were in the car and he's just like, why do the cops shoot brown people? And you're just like, oh, fuck. Like, what do you say to that?
Right.
And it angers you and it frustrates you because you feel embarrassed, you know? Like, you feel like embarrassed when you're, like, talking to your nephews or talking to whoever. You just feel, like, helpless and just fucking, like, powerless.
Right.
And I think that a lot of my anger comes from a place of that. You know what I mean? Just like, you know, it's just like,
no, I get
just
it.
the dehumanization and everything. And even when you're a black woman, like just the desexualization of you, you know what I mean? Like, so when you express your opinion, it's, oh, you're an angry black woman. But like when a white person says it, it's like, right on. She's a feminist. She's standing up for herself and blah, blah, blah.
It's Azealia Banks, Hip Hop Nation. A lot of people call themselves feminists these days.
Yeah.
What's your definition of being a feminist? And do you consider yourself?
I don't know. You know, because all of these like things that I seem so upset about, these are all like new things to me. Like, I'm only 23 years old. I've been like in my high school art school bubble with all my white friends and all my white boyfriends and all my gay friends, and we've just been like dancing in the hallways and fucking.
See, I don't believe that because something is informing your intellect.
Yeah, but I feel
you're very
like
connected to the black experience and a lot of the issues you raise, you know, again, that's somebody that is reading books and connected.
I'm just doing that now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? When you grow up in the public school system, everything, you're like, you get indoctrinated with that book, you know?
Right.
And you kind of get to a place where you're led to believe like, oh, well, it's every man for himself and nobody owes me anything and I'm going to have to work and blah, blah, blah. But when you really think about it, it's like, you know, like this is the reason why my mother doesn't have any fucking money. You know what I mean? This is why my mother never had any money for me to go to college. And there's like these fucking like people like these, just like, you know what I mean? You just start thinking like, why are these like, you know what I mean? Like, why do all these white people have money? Like, why can you go to college? Like, you know, like, why is that like, you know what I mean? Like, and for me, it's like, shit, well, I'm going to have to apply for a grant and I'm going to have to work at Starbucks and I'm going to have to fucking, I got to be like so exceptional because like, I'll be so lucky to get a scholarship to go to school. Like, fuck that. After all the fucking shit that black people have been through in this country, like, can I at least get a fucking free education?
Well,
like,
now,
shit.
did you hear the latest? President Obama is offering free community college.
Fucking community college, like, come on, like,
come on, Azealia. We gotta start somewhere, don't you think?
No, you need to give me my fucking money. I need my fucking reparations so I can build more like black schools, and so my kids can go to school for fucking free, and so I can teach them on my terms. You understand?
Do you really believe that we're going to get those types of reparations?
I really think that if enough young kids know about it, you know, like, I feel like we can mix it in with our ratchet shit, you know, like we can mix it in with our love and hip hop because I love love and hip. I love that shit. It's so funny.
Will you do the show if they would ask?
Absolutely not. That's career suicide.
What? Wait.
Absolutely fucking not.
That's confusing. You wouldn't do love and hip hop? You think that's career suicide?
Yeah.
Wow.
You don't need to see me. I'm too hot for TV.
Well, we see you already on social media.
Yeah, but you don't actually see me. You see tweets. Lord. You don't need to see me.
Yeah. Has anyone approached you?
A few times, yeah.
Wow. Are you friends with people in the industry? You seem like you're very just independent. Like,
Yeah,
you roll by yourself. You came with just, it's a very small crew.
Yeah.
Are people calling you for collaborations? What is that like?
I've done some collaborations. Just recently, I worked with Dr. Luke.
Okay.
And we did some... I did a remix for that new Rock City song. Which is really cool. I like it. I like them. And
do people return your phone calls when you reach out?
All the time.
Okay.
All the time. No, come on. Yeah. Like, come on. I'm pretty fun to hang out with. Like I do spend a lot of time indoors. Because,
why?
Because I'm working.
Okay. So you're not this pariah of the industry.
No.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm sure there are like some people that are probably just like, oh.
Yeah.
Like whatever, but.
Yeah. Why your face is looking like that, Azealia?
What's my face looking like?
You got this sourpuss face on.
No, I'm good.
Hip Hop Nation, you gotta love it. She's here, folks.
That's just like I'm about to like crack a joke face. My face is always like ready.
Was that the crack a joke face? I knew it.
So I'm gonna say something fucked up.
Did you watch the Grammys last night?
I did watch the Grammys last night.
What'd you think?
I didn't really think much about it. I just kind of watched it. Yeah. I thought Juanes was really good.
Yeah.
I really like Juanes, and I thought he looked extra sexy too.
Yeah.
You know Juanes?
No.
Juanes is he's a Latin American singer.
He didn't perform.
He performed.
Maybe I was in the shower
really
at that
tight
time.
and intimate. It was really cute. I liked it.
I just wanted to see Rihanna's performance.
She looked so good.
Killed it.
The outfit with the diamonds and the shit. I was like, yo, that's a fly bitch.
Yeah. Are you one of those artists that complain about like the whole politics of the Grammys and the process?
I mean, I don't know. I don't really care. Someone was trying to sign me up to be like a voter.
Really?
Yeah, to like vote in the Grammys or whatever.
You weren't interested?
No, of course I'm interested, but I barely even check my email. I couldn't like someone would have to do it for me.
Right.
But yeah, I'd totally go and vote.
They don't have enough people voting. It's not diverse enough. Like some people think it's rigged. And I'm like, no, it's not rigged. You just got to understand the process of it and how artists are selected.
They just said the same thing about the Oscars, I think.
Same thing.
Yeah.
No.
That it was all just like
same thing.
White people. And someone like made an article and they were like, and the award for the best Caucasian goes to.
Yeah. Well, you're heading out on tour soon. Mm-hmm. When?
Well, I go to Japan in March.
Okay.
And then after that, I do the 2 Coachella dates,
nice.
which I'm really excited about.
Yes.
And then in between Coachellas in LA, we're doing a show at Club Nokia.
Is that the white face thing?
No, the white face thing, I was just getting my makeup done for my Ice Princess video.
Lord.
And in between stages, it just looked so funny because I had like blue contacts in and all this white shit over my face. And I knew like white people were going to be like, oh my God, like, why can't we all just get along?
You love starting mess.
It's funny. It's funny. I mean, whatever. Fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's comic relief. It's my therapy.
Yeah. Well, it's so long as it doesn't get in the way of the music. People need to hear your music because it's good stuff. Broke with expensive taste, Azealia Banks. Come back for breakfast talk. You have a lot more people calling that want to talk to you, but we're out of time.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I appreciate you coming for breakfast. Again, you guys can pick up Broke with Expensive Taste on iTunes. Check for it in retail stores in March and head out on tour to see her at your local city. Arenado Romaine, your ear candy. It's Hip Hop Nation. Be a fragrance, not an odor. Enjoy the rest of your days. What you making? Mwah. Heard a lot about you. Wasn't very familiar with the music until this weekend. Okay. I was rocking to it in the car, and I was like, what? I had no idea. And, I think a lot of people probably have no idea of your music, the artistry. And so I want to get to know Azealia Banks. Who is...
I think I'm very thorough, and I think I'm very clear about who I am and what I think. And I think with that said, I put a lot out there, you know, so I feel like I give everybody a chance to like at least take something from what I'm saying, whether it's, to dislike me or to really like me or to be confused by me or, to relate to me or whatever it is.
Right. Azealia Banks. I don't think a lot of people know who that is. Do you feel like the wrong perception is out there about you?
No, I don't think the wrong perception about. I don't think the wrong perception about me is out there. I think that I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I feel like I definitely have a really strong core fan base, and I don't think they misperceive so much as they,
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm shocked. I'm pleasantly surprised. Azealia Banks is here with us this morning having breakfast talk. Welcome.
Thank you.
You look fabulous.
Thank you.
Is that fur around your neck?
It is.
I like it. I want to touch it.
You can.
You have a nice fashion sense. Very different.
Thank you.
Here's my intention today, because this is my first time meeting you.
They see what they want to see. You see what you want to see. I think that every time, one of these things come up and it's like, oh, Azealia Banks is ranting again, or Azealia Banks is talking again.
Right.
I'm always very thorough and very clear, even if, there are some expletives and some other,
colorful language.
Some other colorful language in there.